Alright, let's talk about this. I know it's been a while, and I apologize, and I'll explain everything at the end of the video, but I figured, since there's a bunch of big collabs happening, especially in the Monster Cat area lately, I figured it would be fun to hear from other people what they think the best collaboration ever is. It could be an alias, it could be a one-time thing, it could be a side project with like two people, like Sophon, for example. Best answer is Fet featured. I realize I misspelled bet literally just now. Best answer is Fet featured in the video. So here we go. One song, two artists, Porter Robinson and Maddie on Shelter. I mean, talk about a match made in heaven. These styles match so well together, and considering this was still in a time where Porter's last release at the time was Worlds, the album, we didn't have much. So this release was the perfect introduction that would probably lead into what would go into Nurture 5 years later. A middle ground of sound design and songwriting for Porter that was towards the end of his Worlds sound design, and incorporating a lot of his sound design that would lead into Nurture. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really get much more iconic than this, does it? I mean, this is a pretty iconic collab. It's definitely one of the more memorable songs between the two, I mean, obviously. But I say that as someone who's not a huge fan of either. I lean more towards Porter Robinson because I think his style is pretty unique and interesting. Meanwhile, on the other side of the spectrum, Maddie has more of a mainstream appeal, in my opinion. And he's got more of just like, not a basic sound, but kind of like the way his songs are made just don't really interest me that much. But yeah, I think this was, I mean, what better of a collab could we start this video off with? I mean, like, literally, come on. At first, it may seem like having a collab between one of the most oldest Monster Cat legends, Afixa, and a Newgrounds mastermind boss fight would feel really odd on paper. Somehow, the idea of the track Subside surprisingly works and became one of, if not the best collab on the label ever. I gotta be honest with you, I was really surprised when this collab took off. I was not expecting this song. I mean, I liked the song when it came out. This was like late 2017. This was during the time I slowly kind of grew back into Monster Cat after pretty much the whole middle chunk of 2017. I just stopped listening to the label altogether. And then I kind of just started listening at the tail end of the year. I hate to be that guy, but man, this is mid. I mean, it's not bad. It's really not. It's a decent song, but it's like, it's so overhyped. I really like the sounds incorporated by both artists here, but I think it definitely gets glazed more than a donut shop. With that being said though, I understand, why people like the song, to an extent. It's not like I'm saying that out of malice or anything. Oru, Beanie God, and Techie Getaway. This was featured on Silkenwood's Sleepover Volume 2, which is a must-listen if you haven't heard already. I promise you I haven't. And it is easily the standout song on the compilation, or even the entire label in my opinion. I don't go out of my way for rock, but I can appreciate it sometimes, mostly if it's melodic. This is just amazing. The vocals on the track are great, but the drops are even greater. They bring this spacey atmosphere with masterful production to back it up. The guitar lead sounds so pretty. I wish these sections went on for 8 bars longer, but still one of my favorite songs nonetheless. I will say, just for the record, I did go and listen to these songs, the ones I haven't heard before, just for the video. And yeah, it's not a bad song. It's got kind of like a cool, chill vibe to it. I don't really hear anything super special about it. I mean, it's very much something you would hear in one of these compilations. To me, it's not really that unique, but I will say it is a very well-made song. Just not really something I would really come back to personally. And in terms of a collaboration, I mean, I know none of these guys, so not really knowing who any of these guys are doesn't really help me in that sort of aspect of the question. But it's a solid song, so that's something. Phonon and Mad Dubs' Wheel Up comes to mind. Phonon just has this mind-blowing complexity to every song he touches, while Mad Dubs at the same time was rather straightforward and not really my taste. Wheel Up has some of the cleanest sound design I've heard, while also having crazy flows and a score 4 switch that actually sounds good. And all of this on a random-ass release for Cyclops Recording. A true hidden gem indeed. Yeah, for those of you, the name Phonon, that might sound familiar. That's the guy that made Polyrhythm a few years back, if you remember that. Kind of blew up for a little while. I was listening to this and I was just like, yeah, this definitely sounds like the Phonon sort of like the time signature is all fucked up, kind of like Polyrhythm. I definitely see where this person's coming from. And, honestly, I can hear both both of them on this track. So that alone makes this a pretty solid collaboration where you can hear actually like the two different people working on the song, and you can hear their parts in the song itself. So, I mean, it's got that going for it. Pegboard Nerds and Tristram collabed for Razor Sharp and its VIP, made one of the most iconic songs of Prime Monster Cat, and they never collabed again. That's a Chad move over there. Second place goes to Grant and Ellis, Dead Man Walking. Both fantastic songs, by the way. But obviously the main answer here being Razor Sharp. I'm just going to focus on that. I mean, yeah, it's super iconic. One of the most iconic, gaming songs, I would say. Like, back in the day where you had like those like gaming montages, Monster Cat was kind of in that space with other Pegboard Nerd songs like Self-Destruct and Disconnected. Flight, obviously, by Tristram was, all over that. It was just kind of like that whole, early 2010s gaming mixed with the first few years of Monster Cat. Even to this day, it's one of the most recognizable EDM tunes ever. And I'll even go as far as to say, out of all the answers on this video, this is probably my favorite collab of the bunch. So, congratulations, you won the editor's choice. That would be me. I am the editor. Fool and Castor had a collab a couple years back, and honestly, I was so shocked when I saw them on the same song. The song itself was awesome, too. Yeah, you're thinking of Inertia, back in 2021. I was not too fond of the song. I don't remember really liking this too much. I do remember this being part of the Troublemaker EP from Fool. And, Castor kind of came on to Monster Cat and started, dropping his own stuff. Eventually coming out with his own EP, but this collab, I don't know, just something about it didn't really click with me. I think it was also the second drop that also kind of tanked it for me. I was not really a fan of what they did on that. So yeah. Nimda and Mad Dub's Burfam? Am I saying that right? Burfam? It's one of those collabs where you can tell who did what, and neither overpower the other despite their different styles, with Mad Dubs leaning more toward rhythm and Nimda leaning more towards tear out. Along with the off drops being humorous and kind of meta, there's a nice balance of sounds here, and comes together to make a really good banger. Yeah, no, this was another one that was really nice in terms of like balancing the different artists and their styles and their sounds and stuff. I'm really not the biggest Nimda fan either, and part of that is because tear out is not really my favorite genre of dubstep. But at the same time, I do have some tear outs that I kind of like pick and choose. And this one's not bad. This one is actually kind of fun. The whole like being humorous and kind of meta definitely fits with what Hex Knight's talking about with this song. Not my favorite of the bunch, but it's cool, and you can hear the two different people, so that alone makes it a strong collab in and of itself. Autumn Hate and Daya, Monument. I can't stop replaying that song. I'm not gonna lie, this was probably my favorite of the new stuff that I listened to for this video, like the songs I hadn't heard beforehand, obviously. But yeah, this was a cool one. I really liked the sound of it, the feel of it. I mean, it's not really anything that different or that unique, but like, for what it is, it's pretty fun. In terms of the question though, like, would this really constitute as like the greatest collab you've ever heard? I mean, it's good, but like, come on, there's gotta be other ones that you like more than this. And finally, the 3 Disciple mega collabs. Oh lord. I gotta hand it to you, these are pretty impressive collabs considering how many people are on them. It's relatively between like, what, 15, 20 people-ish? I would say out of the 3 of these, my favorite would probably be How We Roll, compared to like Get Lemon and, why can't I think of the name of the other one? The name of the other one, I'll put it up here. There isn't a single one that's bad, but all 3 of them are pretty solid. So, I mean, I don't know. Dominic Parisi 2999 might be onto something. And that's it for the video. I know that it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I apologize for not doing these on a monthly basis like I originally promised. But life's been kind of crazy lately, so I'm just trying to get all that sorted out. And once I do, I hope I'll be back to doing these on a more consistent basis. In terms of what you'll be seeing in the coming weeks, I will cover the more recent EPs and stuff that have come out, as well as the Monster Cat Monthly that's due here in about a week. And speaking of the channel, for those of you who haven't seen or who haven't heard, we finally did it. We finally reached 1,000 subs. It's crazy to me that I'm even saying that, but genuinely, honestly, and like just purely, thank you. It has been crazy to get here. I know this isn't like a million subs or anything, but for someone like me, 1K is basically 1M. So I appreciate all the support and love. I do plan on making updates to the channel itself soonish, and I also want to celebrate somehow. I have a lot of ideas in my head, but none of them are just quite hitting the mark that I want it to hit. So I'm asking you guys, because you're all basically the backbone of this channel and all the other channels similar to mine. So I'm asking you guys, what do you want to do to celebrate? We can do like a special like mega ranking. We can do like, I really don't know. I tried planning ahead to meet this moment, but obviously that didn't work so well. Yeah, just let me know what kind of ideas you have. I thought about doing a live stream maybe at some point, but that would require me to have a decent camera. And not only do I not have one, but decent cameras are a little bit triple pricey at the moment. So if you have a recommendation for a good computer camera, just, hit me up. But yeah, with that being said, again, thank you. It's been awesome seeing all the support and all the love, especially lately when life's been pretty crazy and I haven't been able to upload as consistently as I want. All right, that's all for now. Thank you so much yet again, and I'll see you next time.